going on, everyone, and welcome to the KoloCast, a weekly show where we get inside the mind of someone on the grind here in the community. My name is Mr.Aquaman, your host, and joined by the one and only Flashyy over there. What's going on, Flashyy?
What is going on, Aquaman? As I always say, I'm super excited for these episodes, but this one is a little special to me. We got our guest today who really impacted me and he changed the game for me, and we're going to get into it. So just bring him right in. Aquaman, who do we have today?
We are going to be joined by the one and only Darth Arma, a man of many talents who's been there, done that from multiple different roles within this community, starting out as a player, getting into commentary, and then getting to behind the scenes events, and then starting his own offline series. And that is just tremendous. Welcome, Darth Arma, to the KoloCast. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, man?
What's going on? I'm Darth Arma, also known as Miguel Perez, and I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited to kind of hang out with you guys, talk a little bit about anything, and big fan of the show. Really fun to always watch and tune in. If you guys are watching, definitely check out all the episodes. A lot of insightful things have been said, a lot of emotions have been shared, and just a lot of laughs too. Always a great time. So I'm super excited to be here.
So, Arma, we kind of brought it up just now where Aquaman said you're a player, commentator, running your own events. Just to kick things off here, what has been your favorite hat to wear out of your entire career, of everything you've done? What is your favorite hat to put on, and break it down as to why?
I thought you were referencing the hats that I wore during Injustice 1.
We will
That's what
get
I was
there,
just writing
but
down.
not yet.
That's what I
We'll
swear
get
to
there,
God.
but not
I was, guys. You guys saw me pull out my pen. I have written down. I have written down right there at the bottom, baseball cap for a particular reason. It was because of Injustice 1, but Arma, I'll bring that up later. You continue.
So many. But I guess you're talking about hats to wear in terms of roles. Everything is so different. There's so much love for all those different things. Like last night I was playing Injustice 1 with Breed of Voorhees for hours, and I was like remembering again what it felt like to be a competitor. Obviously not a competitive scene or a situation, like we're just playing casuals and it's online. But it just felt so fun to play all these different characters and try to learn matchups on the fly. And we're just having a good time. And I'm just like, man, I really miss. Obviously, I still play Mortal Kombat 11. You have to have a certain amount of know how to talk about what's going on. So you really have to kind of, I think it's really important as a commentator to stay active, to keep playing, to know what you're going to see, to know what's a big deal, to know what's par for the course. Um, I'm probably going to say out of commentator, competitor, organizer, if I had to rank them, I would say being an organizer gives me the most like euphoric feeling, like that accomplishment, knowing that all these people are so happy and having a great time because of something that you put on. I feel like there's a lot of reward in that. Second would probably be commentary. Third, I'm gonna say is competing, just because it seems so far away and it was such a long time
Right.
ago. But I still, without that, I don't really think I would have been able to jump into the commentator position. A lot of that came just from having our own local event, having our 8 on the Break weekly to go to every single week. Like, we ran that game into the ground. Like, we played Injustice 1. I want to say very, very close to 2 years. I don't think it was exactly right when MKX came out. I want to say it was like maybe 2 months before MKX came out. But again, we kept the momentum going afterwards once MKX came out. But we were, it was a blast. It was fun. There was like 25, 30 people watching every week, but none of that mattered. I got on the mic, had fun, and just kind of learned from there and got opportunities from it. And it was, I don't know, I feel like I couldn't have any of these without all of them. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be a commentator if I wasn't a competitor. I wouldn't be an organizer if I wasn't a competitor. I would even say, like, organizing really also started for me a long time ago. The first tournament I ever ran was during Street Fighter 4, still on YouTube on Team Spooky's old channel, but I
Wow.
did it at my mom's house, and the whole object of this event was to raise money for the transmission in my WRX that blew, because I let my friend, I'm not kidding you, I let my friend drive it for a total of 5 minutes, and he destroyed my transmission by slamming it into second way too hard. And it was like a month or two after I bought the car. And
Oof.
now it's not a lot of money, but back then it was a lot of money to me.
Of course.
And I was just like, I'm so, can we curse? I'm fucked. I'm so fucked
Whatever
here.
you want to do.
Please. Please do.
And
He goes, I'm
and
fucked. I'm fucked.
you know, my friend obviously didn't have the money to give it to me, and I was like, all right, why don't you do this? Why don't you help me organize something? I know this is going to be a lot of work, but yeah, because this friend was a Street Fighter 4 player with me. I was like, let's get everyone to do a tournament. Let's have something fun. We'll get a keg of beer. We're going to do a beer pong tournament, and we're going to play Street Fighter 4. We're going to do a 2v2 tournament. We're going to do a singles tournament.
Sounds awesome.
And
Yeah,
it
that sounds like a
was
great
my,
time.
it was a really good time, but it was so stressful for me. But that tournament gave me so much gratification. It's on YouTube. If you search Dirty Jersey Street Fighter 4, it should come up. So I had no plans, because this was like in 2010. Yeah, this was like right when Super dropped. And I had no plans to stream this. It was just, let's do the tournament. People are going to show up, whatever. Then like 2 weeks before, none other than Spooky, Victor, Team Spooky's Victor, reached out, and he's like, hey man, so a lot of guys here from New York are going to your tournament, and I thought it'd be cool if I just came and streamed it. I'm like, why? This is when streaming was like just getting off the ground. And I'm like, why? I
He
think
was
there's
one
gonna
of
be
the
a lot of good
first. He was
players.
one of the first.
Yeah, he was one of the first, but he was trying to get content, and he was there, and that kind of shows you what he was doing, because he was definitely a pioneer, and he was going the uh, you know he was going to great strides to try to make more content, and that's why he's where he is today as like the go-to streamer for FGC events. But and I'm like, I don't know why you want to come to this tournament, and I'm just like, it's just at my mom's house. Like, this isn't anywhere special. This is just like oh, and my mom also had this bitching in-ground pool, which is also like a big appeal to
Dude,
getting
this
people
sounds
there.
awesome.
It
Yeah, I
was
was-
a really fun event. We had the barbecue, we had chicken going, like burgers, hot dogs, everything. So I want to say I charged like 10 or $15, but I was just like, bro, we have food, we have beer, and in the end, I was able to raise enough money for me not to just to. I had to put a little bit more money in myself to get the transmission fixed. All in all, it costs like more than maybe almost like $2,000 around there. But the point is that a lot of people came out, a lot of people had fun. There was definitely a lot of it was more of like a little party atmosphere. But what was so strange about that whole thing was after Team Spooky came and streamed it, and this is how like this just kind of speaks on the times, because he came, he got that content, but he wasn't really making money, and he goes, hey bro, I really hate to ask, we had a really good time at your event, but do you have like $15 so we can get over the bridge again and go back to New York? I'm just like, you know what? You came, you solidified this forever on YouTube for me. Yes, here. Like, I'm so happy you came. Obviously, he didn't ask beforehand for that, and I was just like, you really need it, then here's $15 to get back to New York City. And it was awesome. And from there, I ran a few tournaments here and there. But the push to do MKNJ really happened more with it was actually Costner was someone who pushed it a lot in the beginning, because I think he was kind of missing what we had during Injustice 1 and MK9, where throughout MKX we didn't really have like a local to go to, or like a frequent local. During Injustice 2 we had nothing, man. Like, there was no regions where they were doing anything offline. And he's just like, this really sucks. Like, I really miss offlines. Like, let's get together, let's do something. And I'm like, well, money talks. Like, we gotta find a venue, we gotta get tables, we gotta get monitors, we gotta get PlayStations, we gotta get games. Like, I really hate depending on, and I do depend on a lot of other people, but I try to minimize that as much as possible. And he 100% agreed. And he was just like, very generous when it came to like anything we needed. He's like, tables, all right, we're buying them. We're buying headset, mixer, like all this stuff. And MKNJ wouldn't have been possible without him. And it was also just a good way to like organize things and get everything together. But not only was it Costner, but it was also my wife who pushed it really hard, because I was still, even with Costner, I was like still on the fence, and I'm like, no, it's a lot of hard work. And she's like, yeah, but a lot of people are going to appreciate it, and a lot of people are going to, associate you with something so great. So Chelsea really pushed me like over, contemplating on doing it. And of course, if anyone in this world is married, it's very, very tough to do anything without the approval of your significant other, especially something so time consuming. So she was like, you 100% have my support. I got your back. Let's do it. Like, and if you've gone to MKNJ, Chelsea's the one there checking people in, running the bracket, making sure everything's going, while I'm having like a panic attack because like the stream's not working or something. And Chelsea's there like on the front lines, like just checking people in and getting it going on Smash.gg, because in the beginning, Smash.gg is so overwhelming. There's so many different things to do. It's a great website, but like it's so much like information overload. Not ready for it. So I wouldn't have been able to run MKNJ without the help that I have. And I feel like a lot of people might misunderstand that when they see events, like even when they see anything like that you guys produce here. A lot of people associate it with Mr. Aquaman, but there's a lot of people behind the scenes that get it going. Not to say that Mr. Aquaman doesn't give you guys the credit; he definitely does. But I just mean like when you
I
first
don't
glance
actually
at it,
do
you're like,
anything. I just
yeah,
show up
yeah,
and
He
start
always says
talking.
it.
I literally just show up and talk, and it's the greatest thing ever, guys. But no, you're right. It's having a wonderful team behind you, and I'm gonna let you continue.
so important, so important.
But yeah, so my question is, when we have a bit of a history together, you and I, and the one thing that I learned when I went to that first Mortal Kombat New Jersey was I was like, damn, dude, like I never knew what it fucking took to put on one of these events. Like by the end of it, bro,
Yeah,
like sweat dripping down your face, like bags under your whole team's
of
eyes.
course,
And I was looking at you
dude.
guys, I was like, fuck, man, like that, how the hell do you do this? So I think that I would like to take a second here just to talk about like how do you keep that motivation? I think you kind of talked about it where you get that euphoric feeling, but like where does it come from when you're just like all that shit's going on? How do you just find the strength to move forward and be like, I'm gonna keep putting these on because it's not like you're making a ton of money, so that's not it. And yeah, like the feeling of like, yeah, people are enjoying this and it's fun, but that might get old. So it's like when you're doing all this, how do you find just like I said, the strength to keep them going and just to keep putting these unbelievable events on, man? Because that's like 9, 10 hours on that day, not to mention the months in advance of all the shit that you got to take care of. Like, how do you one find the
Yeah.
time? How do you two just find the motivation, just keep going with it?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. Lately, it's been really tough. Just because I'm a new dad. I'm
Yep.
full time
Which
dad. My
congratulations, by the way, Dad Arma in
thank
the
you, thank
house.
you.
We got him.
Congratulations,
Let's go.
Daddy
Let's
Arma.
go.
Can we change his name
We
to
love it.
Daddy Arma? Thank you. Just
There
kidding.
you
Change it
go,
underneath.
Daddy Arma.
We're
And
all on Twitter.
it was no, it's it's definitely time consuming, but you really have to manage your time really well. And I feel like it's very easy to get drained when have something bad going or something doesn't go according to plan. But the motivation for me to just keep pushing forward really kind of stems from, I don't remember if we talked about it after we went live or before, or after we started recording or before, but playing, like, to me that special game is always going to be Injustice 1 because of all the memories I've had with that game, traveling for that game, competing in that game, having our own local scene, and what that meant to me, not just, from a competitive aspect, but like that was probably the funnest 2 years of my life, like in my adult life, like just being able to, go to tournaments, uh, the long car rides to go like drive to other tournaments really far away or, somewhat far away, staying out all night, like, at the IHOP diner or anything that's open.
Oh, the
And just,
IHOP move of
oh,
2014. Yeah, that's all
yeah,
we
man.
ate,
And you,
man.
And the Denny's at every tournament, the spot to go to was always Denny's for some reason because there was
It was
always
always
a close by
breakfast.
Denny's.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just fun to be there with your friends, and you're not only just talking about the game, you're talking about anything, school or work, anything going on with your family. Like it was just I've never felt so social, and I don't want to say it was because of the game, but it was a really nice thing to have as a routine. I kind of see it as a way of like my dad's social life is basically him going to his bowling league like every week, and it's really fun. It's cool. He sees the same people. He's got like his teammates that he talks to, and then there's people you're friendly with on the other side on other teams, but it's also just a fun competitive setting. Like old people when they're bowling in their bowling leagues, like they can get really shitty, really salty, really fast. Like and but it's fun, and I kind of see the same thing. So when I think about organizing MKNJ, when I think about putting on a tournament, I think about how other people are going to value it the way I valued what I had during a one. So that keeps me motivated. Mighty and Just also reached out to me like after a few MKNJs, and he's like, it was out of the blue. It was for like no reason at all. He's like, "Hey, I just wanted to thank you for putting this event on. Uh, I don't think I would have gotten sponsored if it wasn't for your tournament because you got all these people to come compete, and the stream was on point, and it got the attention of an organization, and they picked me up, and they flew me to
Oh.
a few events, and I think it was all because of you." And I'm like, definitely wasn't because of me. It's because you're amazing. You're a great player. You put in way more time into being good than I do into putting into this tournament. So big shout outs to the Mighty and Just, always, always, always supporting MKNJ, and just being an incredible player. I love watching the Mighty and Just play. Like every single time, I get so excited.
For me personally, I can definitely speak to those memories you were talking about, man, because Mortal Kombat 11 as a whole has done a lot
Uh,
for me, both personally and as my career.
yeah.
And man, I still, to this day, dude, MKNJ 1, which was 12 days after the release of Mortal Kombat 11, dude,
Yes.
I still talk about that every single day. Me and my friend who showed up to that event, who made that video and all that, and
Yes.
he
Yes.
doesn't even play Mortal Kombat, and he's like, "Dude, that event was, like, one of the most fun events I've ever gone to in my life," and that's 2 years down the road, we're still talking about it, like, I still remember getting completely smoked 1 and 2, going to the bar, and then just, like, talking to people there, and then, like I said, like, afterwards going and talking to you, and, like, we had Gur and Destroyer on the show, and the
Mhm.
first 2 things I said to them were, "Hey, man, remember Mortal Kombat New Jersey 1?" And, dude, it's just, like, that what you're talking about, like, that just resonated with me so much because as much as MK11 has done for me, like, that day just, like, stands out of, like, the whole life cycle of MK11, it's that day, and I still never forget, I randomly saw it on Twitter, I don't even think we were talking to each other yet,
Yeah.
but I saw that you're hosting a tournament, and I reached out, and I was just like, "Hey, man, mind if I show up and bring a camera with me?" And you're like, "Dude, 100%, like, come down, have a good time," and now from there, like, 2 years later, like, so much has changed, but at the same time, it's just dude, that day, like, changed my career as a content creator permanently
Sure.
for the best possible way. And again, if it wasn't for you and your team, like that would have never been possible. Like I don't even know if I would even still be like interested in MK, but it's just that moment, man. Like that was the first offline I went to, and I'm going on a tangent here, but it's my final
No, no,
opportunity to
no.
be like, dude, like you changed a lot for me personally, and that's what I can say. And like for you just to be so open and be like, yeah, come on down, and just to show everybody an amazing time, host an
Yeah.
unbelievable event, putting all that pressure on your fucking shoulders, man. Time in and time out. Like, god
It
damn it.
was
I don't know
tough.
how you fucking do it, dude. But for me personally, I could say that I have the same feelings as Mighty Unjust, where it's like, dude, if it wasn't for you, like things would not be where they are today. And I know you always talk about your team and all that, but you were the
Mm.
catalyst of it all. And if it wasn't for you, dude, I don't know where I'd be. But I'm gonna start crying again. I almost cried on the Gur episode.
No,
I don't
no,
want to
no, no.
cry again.
Fine.
Aquaman, please talk to this guy about some stuff before I start sobbing. But seriously, I'm like the shit you did for me is I could never thank you, man. It's
Well,
crazy
Oh
what
man.
that tournament did.
Look, man, you
well,
you guys
Arma.
helped too. Just the fact that let me just respond to Flashy a little bit, but you
Yep.
guys also helped in a way where one, I used that footage that your friend Tyler shot because it was
Oh yeah.
incredible footage. The way he edited it, the way he
Oh
captured
yeah.
those moments, and again, I think you guys need to put this in here. And the moment where Gurr like stands up and just screams,
I'll
"Let's
edit it in.
go!" And he like,
Yeah, best pop off I've ever seen. I talked to him
Mhm.
about it too. Best pop off ever.
That's game. No. Down two. Oh, decides not to break and the pop off.
So good,
And it was just like so much about that moment was like you can see like the projector behind him, all the people. We never had an event like that one since, but that's pretty normal for like fighting game tournaments. In the first few months, everybody's playing it. We had,
man.
I want to say we had 72 or 76 people at that tournament, and we had to turn away a few people because they didn't get there in time. We're like, look, man, we really don't have the room for you. Like we're at max capacity. Don't want to. And this is obviously before COVID, but we were pretty crammed in there in that pretty big like hotel room, like the event room for the hotel. But that was that was good times, man. And
Such
I feel
times.
like if it wasn't for you and Tyler coming, it wouldn't have been as easy to attract more people to it because they saw those shots. Those things were captured. A lot of people forget to do things like that, like capture the
Yeah.
moment.
Yep.
I and since then, every MKNJ, I'm always just like recording the crowd, taking pictures of people having a good time, talking, drinking, like just showing that the event is a fun place to be in. And definitely, if you guys are out there in the tri-state area, just gonna selfishly plug in MKNJ number
Please do
10.
it.
It's coming up September 25th. We do have about 20 spots left open. So guys, go to smash.gg/MKNJ10 and you guys can register. It's a really, really fun time. A lot of great players are going to be there. Of course, Gurr, Bernanoni, the Mighty and Just, trying to get Splash in there, and trying to get some amazing commentators lined up. So I'm gonna have more news for you guys in the future. But yes, Mr. Aquaman, tell me how we're gonna continue this.
Oh man, just to piggyback off of that, I can talk about this kind of stuff for a very long time, but
Oh yeah,
a lot of things that you said, I've been able to resonate with having run some offline tournaments, and been in those
ECW.
positions. Darth Arma was a part
Remember?
of my first big offline attempt, which was ECW. And by big
Oh yeah,
attempt, Arma knows it was a very big attempt. That room was way bigger than it needed to be. Um,
yeah, yeah. But I
and
mean, what are you gonna do? Ask for a smaller room? Like
I know, right? Can I get half of the arena? No, they're like, you got to take the whole thing.
the
But
whole thing.
you know, a lot of people don't know just how much goes into running an offline event, not
Yeah.
just monetarily, and not just physically, but mentally. The first panic attack of my life was mid tournament at TCW. Arma, I don't think you know this, but I had to
So
hand
this
my phone. What?
no, I actually don't know this story, but I was gonna say it's funny that your first panic attack wasn't during a competitive match, but just
No.
organizing a tournament. Yeah.
Organizing a tournament was the most stress I've ever experienced. Having so much pressure on me of like all these different setups, all these different games. I think I had at that one it was like 170 to 200 people there
Something like that.
just in players, and so yeah, I had to hand my phone off to someone and say, "Hey, can you help run this bracket? I'll be right back." And my friend found me laying down in the parking lot outside with a brown bag, breathing in and out. Yeah, it was that intense where I couldn't move.
Yeah.
It was just a pure stress induced panic attack that really scared me. But then, like Arma talked about, that euphoric feeling afterwards is indescribable. It's
Mhm.
indescribable how euphoric you feel after accomplishing, to what he said, doing what brought us into it.
Yeah.
I know I can speak from experience in that I run events because I like to give people the opportunity to experience what I got to experience with those
Yeah.
events. Even with these online events, just because it is a lot cheaper. And that's another aspect of offlines that people don't understand is that I ran offlines for 2 years in a row at a big level and then at a medium level for a couple years prior. But I think I'll be completely fucking honest with you guys. I think I'm still in the hole from those events. Like people don't
Yeah.
realize. Like it hurts, and the bigger you go, the harder potentially you have to fall. And Yeah, I feel like you don't get enough credit, and TOs don't get enough credit in that regard. You have to worry about so many different things. Getting the venue itself can be a hassle. Multiple different monitors, setups. Last minute runs to a department store to get 1,400 little strip. Plugins, and it's like so many different things can add up in those events, and so nothing but respect in that regard, because having been there, it's not easy. And you know having been a player, commentator, and organizer, I can say that when you talk about that euphoric feeling afterwards, because I feel like all three of those kind of roles in our community give you a different euphoric feeling at the end. As a player, there's winning on stage, there's overcoming a rival, there's just winning a really big matchup, or maybe making it farthest in tournament that you've ever made it before. Those are all really cool and euphoric feelings that you get as a player that make you feel invincible. And then as a commentator, it locks you in this different zone, and again, a completely different feeling that I get commentating than when I'm playing, or while I'm putting together a tournament, or even mid tournament if I'm not the one commentating it. It's that feeling afterwards of feeling accomplished in bringing people together, or as a commentator, entertaining the people watching, or as a player, kind of doing a mixture of everything, and maybe overcoming something yourself that's deep inside. And I think that's really cool, man. It's a lot that I've personally resonated with, and you're someone I have a lot of respect for throughout the years. We've been doing it for a long time. You were the very first person I ever commentated with at a above at an above combat network. Just walk up and grab the microphone level. He was the first person I ever commentated with.
Wow, are you serious?
Yeah,
it's really funny.
I gotta hear this. I gotta hear this, dude. I did not know that. Please break this down.
All right, when you hear this, remember the first word that you responded to, which was, what was it, Flashy? What was the first thing you said? Right now. Wow. Remember that word when you watch that. If anyone ever wants to talk about, Aquaman's like super massive. I'm really sorry I'm putting you on blast, Ryan.
Please do.
That whole broadcast, the only thing that Mr. Aquaman, basically he was using it like punctuation. He was just saying wow for everything, and everyone in the street chat was just saying wow, 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 wow. And dude, it's very overwhelming when you're there, because this was also, like he said, it was the first time that it wasn't like Combat Network and just like, and you're just sitting there
More
like
casual.
in an empty chair, or like, hey bro, you want to commentate? Like, no, yeah, come on. It was predetermined. I want to say it was on Team Spooky's channel, and Vic, having the relationship he has with me, going all the way back to my mom's house in 2010. Was like, hey man, I know you're a good commentator. I know you want to commentate. Like, who should we commentate with? And I'm like, Mr. Aquaman's good. Like, I was just commentating with him yesterday. He was awesome. He knew what he was talking about. Very great energy, and it was great, dude. Even though the wow thing happened in that broadcast, it was still really good. I thought it was a really, really, and obviously, like, no one's gonna be perfect. You go back and listen to my old stuff. Like, it's so weird. It's so different, and it was just because we didn't care about anything. We just wanted to have fun. Cursing, saying like vile shit like the whole time, and it was so good. It was so fun. Yeah, you got something?
I've got a couple of things to piggyback off of. One, bringing up Team Spooky, how crazy is it that what if, for some reason this is all I thought about during your story. What if you didn't give Team Spooky that $15 and he never wanted to do a video again, and like you would have single-handedly brought down the FGC content creation for a couple of years? Like, I guess crazy that's one of the things.
That wormhole that you went down, man.
Are you the watcher? Have you been watching What If on Disney Plus, and you're just like, what if Team Spooky never made it back? What if he decided to sell?
What if he never crossed that bridge?
What if he decided to panhandle for the $15 and then he was killed on the side of the road? Would streaming be where it is today? Would the FGC be where it is today? All because of one man, one $20 bill that he
FGC
said.
What If? Someone be genius enough to do an FGC What If out there. That would be absolutely fantastic. But also about that first commentary. Did you know? I think I've probably told you this before. But we are on. I'm going to bring up the name Shujinky Dink, and you probably know what I'm talking about already.
Oh yeah. What about
Yeah,
Shujinky Dink?
he did a video quite a few years back, called "Worst NRS Commentary of All Time," and
Why do I
I'm number
remember this?
one. I
Are you
am number
really?
one from that video, and he breaks it down of Mr. Aquaman saying "Wow" every other word as the
No way.
worst NRS commentary of all time. And folks, look at where I am now and look at where I started. I was the worst of all time, and I still made it work. So
According to
you
one
can't,
person.
according to 5 billion people on YouTube. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I'm
No,
sure
no,
that
but
video has 5 billion views. I'm sure.
that just goes to show you that, it that kind of stuff takes time and all that fun stuff.
Mm.
But yeah, those were great times. Another thing I want to piggyback off of too is you talked about your favorite game and era in the community, and a lot of people ask me
Mm.
that too. And
Mm.
my definitive answer, having reflected on it for so long, is the Injustice One era. And there's something about it that I so agree with you in that we need to recapture that, because that was peak community for me. It was regional pride. It was locals were popping off everywhere. Test Your Might was popping. As much as as much of a hill that it went down, it was still a great place for all of us to be versus on Twitter or separate discords or separate chats where this
Yeah.
community scattered in so many different places. We were kind of all unified in one spot. And that's what it felt like back in those days. And I'm glad that there's still people like you around, because there's not many people around anymore from those days that are still trying to keep it going. And so you have nothing but
Yeah.
respect in that regard, man. So good shit.
We spent a
Thank
lot
you.
of time here talking about the past, but now I want to kind of transition this into the future. So Arma, of course,
All right.
being a dad and all that, I feel like life is just all over the place. But what are kind of your plans now moving forward? You've kind of done everything. You've been in the space for a long time. Do you want to kind of switch over to content? Do you want to just keep the commentary and TO hat on? What's kind of your plan, quote unquote, moving forward? Where do you want the Darth Arma brand to be, in
Okay.
X amount of years or so?
So I definitely, when it comes to the FGC, I think big focus would be on MKNJ, just to try to get a bigger event going. Um, Not too many people knew this, but before COVID happened, I had venue, I had an investor, I had help for putting on a big event in July. It was supposed to take place July 2020, and um, it was right outside the Newark airport, so it was accessible. We were gonna like set up some kind of shuttle system for like, because it's not it really sucks when somebody goes to a tournament, they fly out somewhere and they're like, all right, well, let's get an Uber. Fuck, this Uber is like
45
$50.
minutes. Yep.
Yeah, and 45 minutes away. Where this one, like we had the capability to like rent a bus for that weekend just to get people, back and forth from the airport. We had so many things planned. The venue wasn't like the biggest thing in the world, but the main focus of this tournament was to celebrate all eras of NRS, all eras of MKs. We were going to run literally every single competitive Mortal Kombat and Injustice 1 and Injustice 2 at that tournament. We had like, I want to say on paper, we had like 2 or 3 streams set up. Um, we had the deposit down on everything, and we just obviously COVID happened, and it was just there were a lot of other things to take into account in being like upset, but that was definitely like up there on that list where I was like, I was ready to do this event. Like I was so excited for it. Just to bring everybody. I mean, I don't know how many people would have actually flown out, but to just be able to showcase all those different games, and it was really really special. Like what you guys are doing here with the Rewind series. It was kind of like that, but in an offline setting with commentators, these OGs coming out to play MK2, MK3, seeing the disgusting things that are possible in all the 3D MKs. Like it would have been so much fun. But that's definitely where I want to take MKNJ.
Oh
I
yeah.
I want to make that event happen. Probably gonna hurt, but I think if we and again, I'm trying to get more people to be involved with MKNJ. The last one was the first one since COVID, the first one since I had my son. So it was a little bit more draining. It was a little tougher to deal with. And I realized like I need more help. And people saw that. Like I have great people that come to MKNJ. Look, man, I'm willing to help. Like give me a bracket, give me something. I'll come and help. And I'm really excited for the next one. Next one should be a lot smoother and it should be a lot more fun to watch. So
So you
you
think
guys
that you're gonna
aren't,
just put
yeah,
no,
yeah.
plug it real
I mean,
quick,
if you
plug
guys
it.
aren't in the tri-state area, definitely check it out. Twitch.tv/Darth Arma, September 25th. And if you guys are in the tri-state area, sign up. Sign up,
Go to it.
smash.gg.
Go
Yeah.
to
This dude
it.
is too good at this dude is too good at promoting. So it looks like, or it seems like, where your head's at is you really just want to put the cap on of being a tournament organizer and just running with that and kind of taking over the space. Is that something that would be true? Like, is it just like, you know what, this is it for me? Like, this is what I'm gonna do.
I mean, it's I love commentating. I definitely don't want to stop. I definitely
Mhm.
enjoy being able to work on that craft and you know, I feel like I'm getting better, but if you listen to some comments in either Reddit or YouTube, I'm the worst. Absolutely the worst. Just to kind of throw
If you
some
put
shade at
it,
myself.
fuck all of you. On behalf of Darth Arma, go fuck yourself.
But, you have
That's
to at a
bullshit,
certain
man.
point, look, man, if you're in this kind of business, you cannot have thin skin. Like, you have to be able
Mhm.
to realize that you're not going to make everyone happy. People are going to hate everything. People are going to hate like it's in everything. When you have, you know, any sort of entertainment, someone's going to
Really?
say it's trash. Like there are people who think The Sopranos isn't the best show in the entire world that has ever existed. But again, it's just people's opinions doesn't necessarily mean it's right, and you just gotta move on.
What now that you brought that up, that's actually really interesting to talk about here. So, when did you kind of look in the mirror and you were like, because that regardless of what people say, it always affects them at first, right? People talking shit
Yeah. Oh
and all
yeah.
that
Hell
stuff.
yeah. Hell
When
yeah.
what was that process of you being like, listen, people are going to talk shit, and that's the end of it? Like kind of just talk about, did it affect you in the beginning? How did it affect you, and how'd you kind of push through that?
Um, it's weird because it doesn't. I can think of like so many hurtful comments from all the way back since the beginning. I want to say
Hmm.
the first time I ever heard something hurtful was at the break. We had like 20 people watching, and one of these people said, Darth Arma's a horrible commentator. He looks like a middle aged Asian woman, and he should never get on the mic again. And I'm like, there's 20 people in this Twitch chat, and one person decided to say that about me. But whatever. I kept moving on. I'm like, ban this person, fuck them. And I put a lot of work into the break. Like when we were there, like everybody had a great time. There's a whole archive of incredible, not incredible matches. We all sucked back then. I don't know about you guys, but I'm
Y'all
from
were
the
pretty
school.
good. Listen, don't let him be humbled. Y'all were
Not not
come on
not
now.
us, not us. I meant like I'm of the school of thought that the players of today are more talented than the players back then. And this is me being a player from back then. I think it's a lot harder
I
to be
would I
good
would
at
agree with that
games.
actually.
Yeah, it's
Now.
so, dude. The reward is higher, the community is bigger, the talent pool is way bigger than it was back then. Like back then, you just had to, you know, learn how to anti-air and like just execute this combo over and over again, and you're good. Like you were gonna beat a lot of people, but now that's
As
just not
as
cut it.
someone as someone that has gimmicked his way into top 16s for some reason and wouldn't even crack top 64 these days, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's tough. It is way tougher, and also information is so much easier to get these days. During Injustice 1 and MK9, like we were on the verge of that. Like we had forums.
Mhm.
MK9 didn't have frame data in the game, but someone broke it down and it was accessible. But I just don't think like if you look at even MKX, like if you look at how fast MKX progressed, Injustice 2, Mortal Kombat 11 compared to, MK9 and Justice 1, like, dude, you watch like week or not even like month 1 or month 2 gameplay of MK9 or Injustice 1, you're just like, nobody has any solid fundamentals. People are just doing whatever they want. How is this
Mhm.
person winning? Every combo is being dropped, and it's just the like par is set so much higher now than it was back
Yeah.
then. And
I got
I'm gonna die by that statement. I definitely think that's true. And some people on the counterpart, they're gonna say like, oh, the games had more depth back then, and that's why. I don't think that's. It might be like a little true, but I feel like if you simplify things and force people to be more fundamentally solid, more disciplined, more patient, like I think it definitely tells a little more about how much better today's players are than the players back then. And I'm a player from back then, like trash.
I agree from experience in that regard, man. You know, the results
Oh,
that I got back in the day was just off of like 2 special moves that people just weren't ready for, especially when you think about those like first couple of months, right? Because I would do stuff and people would be like, "What even is that?" And I'd be like, "It's a low," but it's not. It's an unblockable launcher. Like that two Arma. I
from the
kid you
top
not.
rope.
I kid you not. Over a year after the game came out, and
Mhm.
after I didn't play the most popular character, but in
No.
tournament, a year after the game came out, someone I played didn't even know that the projectile I threw was an overhead.
Oh, the
That
amplified.
that should be a big indication as to like the level right now. And a really good
Mm,
player that was like top 16 at the
mhm.
time
I
was
believe it.
like, wait, that's an overhead?
It's an overhead.
Yep. And it's like that those kind of things I think is what he's talking about. But we're gonna get close to wrapping up here, Arma. But I do want to tell you that as someone that has recently made that same decision, I put all of my eggs into the tournament aspect, but more in the online setting because we can do some really cool things on a much lower budget
Sure.
online, which is what I
Oh
really
yeah.
like. We can put on really good shows and cover a lot of different things. But you know, not to get too far away, but just to kind of make a
Mhm.
side note that I think that online tournaments need offline tournaments to balance because online tournaments are a really good gateway into the scene for someone to sit at home and just test their waters, but offline's where the community really is, man. And so you're the one pushing that here in 2021, and it's simply amazing. And I also agree that you need people behind you, man. I got a wonderful producer in Ricky Rao. I've got QR making wonderful graphics. Flashy's helping me out with so many things with YouTube, social media, and even things
Mhm.
behind the live stream as well. And I've got a couple other people from the community that I never really asked for help, but because over so much time they kept telling me they were like, "Hey, just love what you're doing. If you need anything, let me help." And it's those kind of people. Flashy can attest. He was one of those people that came forward, just like, "Hey, you fucking suck at YouTube. Let me help out."
Yeah, I didn't get the I
Yep.
didn't get the YouTube grill. Hold on. That's part of the
Oh,
show,
okay,
right?
okay, okay.
That is
Yeah,
part
I
of the
love it.
show. That is part of
I
the
love
I
show.
it.
mean,
Arma, what the
I'm
fuck is
not in a
going on,
rush.
man?
I'm not in a
What is
rush at
going on
all.
here?
Light him up,
Why are
Flashy.
you not?
Light him up.
Why are you not
Hold on.
popping off on YouTube? Why are you not? Well, actually, this is different because Arma's a dad, so he's got like another human being to take care of. So like, I kind of get it. I don't want to.
Dream
I
the
don't want to be
baby.
that guy.
Put the baby on YouTube. I'm just kidding.
Why
Don't.
is your child not on every single YouTube video just raking in the views, and you could just take all the money that they're making? But seriously, Arma, you have a whole like catalog of all these MKNJs. You have this just giant brain from playing all these different games. You have such a big opportunity to get, I mean, let's be honest, a little bit of extra change in your pocket on the YouTube side. Is YouTube something that you've kind of wanted to move forward with, or is it kind of just like, yeah, it's there, and if whatever, it's whatever?
I mean, I guess you didn't do your YouTube homework like you usually do. So you
Oh
don't
no,
see
I
that I
did.
actually.
I
Oh, you
did.
did.
I,
Okay,
I
so I
I
guess we're
have
gonna.
seen that you are uploading, but I just want to say like it can always be more, and that's the problem with YouTube is it can always be more, and that's the terrifying thing. So okay, let me
It can.
rephrase it.
It can.
You are
Yeah.
uploading. Where do you want to go
Mhm.
with it?
Okay. I'll be honest. The only reason I upload is to have it cataloged, to have it there to look back at. Because I feel like I also provide that to players, to commentators that we get on our show. something that they can look back at and say, like, look, I did this, I was there, I played the Mighty Unjust, I beat the Mighty Unjust, I beat Pulse, he's super free. And it was never an intention for me to like put stuff on there to push. Now, obviously, I'm gonna see if this is right. You are the YouTube expert. It would definitely be more beneficial for me to take every single set individually and individually upload them that way. But ain't nobody got time for that. Like,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Nobody, bro. Not a single fucking person's got time for that. But
So-
my take on it is you're it's I mean this in the nicest way possible. Stop thinking about the other people and let's start thinking about Darth Arma and his brand. Because like you just said, you're putting it there for others. It's time that, you know what, maybe you stroke your own ego a little bit and you start putting stuff on there for yourself and really start growing it. Because and again, another thing, if you really want to push the whole like MKNJ thing and make it bigger, the bigger the YouTube channel grows, the bigger the brand grows, the bigger everything involved with the brand grows. And that's kind of why like I always push it, because I just like I think you have a huge opportunity here. Again, with all your commentary and how much you know about all these games, like there's so much that you could do on your channel as opposed to just like cutting, uploading. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, a little bit extra change in your pocket. Yeah, that's literally what you do, right? You just cut it out of the VOD and you upload it, which work, and that's fine to do
Right
because
there.
that's going to get views, and that's good content to have. And I'm not being like insensitive when I say like, dude, that's
yeah.
you're doing something that not a lot of people are doing, where they're like, I'm doing this so other people have a place to go so that they can talk about themselves. It's like your YouTube channel is a portfolio for other people, but you could also make it a portfolio about Darth Arma because, dude, you've been doing this shit for so long. Like even just going back to your old Injustice 1 matches and just like talking over it and shit like that. Like you could do so much on your channel, and a little bit extra change in your pocket, and to grow the brand is always a positive. And it's really cool that the way you answered that was this is more of a portfolio for others, but it's your YouTube channel, man. It says Darth Arma on it, doesn't say portfolio for others.
That's true. I mean, I do have things on that YouTube. I have like things from like old Street Fighter 4 days as well. And back then I had like some shitty like laptop and a point and shoot like digital camera, and I used to just film. I literally had a drawer, like a drawer like where I had all my clothes right next to a little crappy monitor, a Xbox 360, and I would just pull one of the drawers out, put a little camera on top of that drawer, point it there, and just play a ranked match or
Classic days,
play,
man.
and then I would just put it on YouTube, and there was like a following going, not a big one, but I don't know. I guess I just kind of lost interest in Street Fighter 4 in general. Like I didn't really play that much after Super. Um, I played MK9 when MK9 came out, but honestly, the fact that Mortal Kombat just gets demonetized or slightly demonetized right away just for association with
Yeah.
one of the bloodiest games out there, like one of the games responsible for our rating system that we have now, that's very disheartening. To know that we're already limited as the FGC, and then you're going in there with another limitation on top of that, like that honestly fucking blows, dude. And
Yep.
anytime I think about it, and not that like I'm someone who's like, I need to make money doing this or it's not worth doing. Like I'm not. Clearly I'm not. I put on
Obviously,
MKNJ
yeah. Like this dude's put on
and
so many tournaments for people. Like, come on.
yeah, but it's just like knowing that there's always going to be that hurdle there is just sucks. I'm just kind of like, why bother? And I think a lot of people also feel that way because there are a lot of
Yeah.
great people in this community who could be making content, and that could be something that they're considering. They're just like, why should I put in all this work if it's just going to get minimized on the monetization side? And we're all getting older too. Like people gotta start thinking about starting a family, which is super expensive,
Yep.
and moving out of their parents' house, going out on their own. Like it's very, very tough to think about. I'm going to put all my time into this, and it's already a struggle from day one. It's struggle city. But if we can do it, do it. it would be awesome. But and I had such high hopes when MK11 was first coming out. a lot of people were discussing it on Twitter. I think there was a WB rep that was like, "Oh, we're gonna." It was Alan
Yeah,
Johnson.
Alan?
Yes.
they were talking about like
Yeah.
working with YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah. He's like, I'm talking to YouTube,
Mhm.
blah blah blah, and then like you still see the threads of people. I'm still getting demonetized. I don't know why.
Yep.
There's no fatalities. There's no crushing blows, and literally, even before all this, I'm like, I know automatically YouTube. If you say anything Mortal Kombat in that video, it's getting struck out like right away.
Yep.
I was hanging out with Rio, speaking of OGs, one time when he
Woo.
was really putting. This was when he was living in Costner's living room, and so it was like super struggle city. He was putting all his work into streaming, into making content, and he's just like, and he's showing me like his YouTube things. And he's like, look, man, every fucking thing I put up, Mortal Kombat 9 demonetized, Mortal Kombat X demonetized. He's like, bro, even this fucking podcast talking about Mortal Kombat still gets demonetized, and I didn't show Mortal Kombat at all. And right there, I was like, why? And he's like, why? And I'm like, because you have the fucking words Mortal Kombat in your YouTube description. Like, you're done. It's over. You can't.
It's,
And he's just
oh,
like,
no.
he's like, I seriously can make more money off fucking Injustice 2. I hate Injustice 2. Fuck this game. I'm like, that's how YouTube works, man. You're playing by their rules, and that's a lot of that. Again, I know you guys both are into content creation, but it's almost really scary to think of how much we're at the mercy of Twitch, how much we're at the mercy of YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Like at any moment,
Everyone.
they could just be like, or the developers just be like, no,
NetherRealm
fuck all
too,
that.
yeah. Could you imagine just come in and say Thanos snap, hey, Kolosseum never run a Mortal Kombat event again, and then I'm royally fucked for the rest of whatever I want to do in this space. GG's, I guess, but that's the kind of mercy that we're at to everyone, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Twitch, the developers themselves, anything, PlayStation Network. We're at the mercy of the game even working, Rip Injustice 2 right now. And
One out. One out for Injustice.
The connection, things like that. But I feel like that's a perfect wrapping point, Arma, is that it is, there are limitations out there when it does come to YouTube. Flashy, did you have one more thing? I saw your finger go up. Hold on a second.
No, I
Yeah,
gave a thumbs
I
up.
don't-
I was like,
Oh, it was a thumbs up? I thought I saw a finger.
No, we need
Well, what
one
do we
more
got?
thing. That was so negative.
yeah.
Like, and I didn't want to come in here and be like negative Nancy.
I've got two things.
I like that.
Okay,
Okay.
real quick. We'll
Very
go
nice.
real quick.
Two things.
I like
two
that.
things.
Tell me.
Two really quick things. One, let's get some revenge on Flashy real quick, because he is always telling our guests to get on YouTube, to strap on, put the straps on and just do it. When this conversation started, before we actually started recording, Arma brought up the fact that he wanted Flashy and wants Flashy to commentate at Mortal Kombat New Jersey. And it's Flashy the one that me and Arma are now going to say, well, it's time to nut up, buddy.
Oh, man. I don't know. I got to check
Dude,
my date.
Being in this
Come on,
seat sucks,
Flashy.
man. I'm gonna stop telling people about these things. Being in the hot seat fucking sucks right now, man.
Bro,
Listen,
I
you
literally,
guys are completely
guys,
correct. Yes.
literally
Break it down
handed
for
him.
him.
I'm like, please come commentate. And and he's just like, oh, I don't know, man. I gotta check my dates. And obviously, I'm not paying him like $1 million to do this, but you got to get out there. It's the same. You're making content. You're getting out there. You're getting your name out there. You could, Flashy. Flashy, give me a slide of your YouTube, anything, and I'll run that slide with you on it. Other commentators on it. Look, go check out Flashy. I will do that because I can't do anything else for you because we have no money and I'm MKNJ. But
you know what?
But I'd
I
be
wanna
more
flip
than
it.
happy to do that. Go ahead.
Let's
Yeah.
use this as a learning opportunity for everybody listening. Step out of your comfort zone because you never know what's going to happen.
Yes.
Like I'm saying, if I jump on that commentary, which is out of my comfort zone, listen, I commentate my own videos. I've never commentated other people. That's out of
He's
my
good.
comfort zone. It's out of my ballpark. But like Arma saying, you never know what can happen, and you got to step out of your comfort zone. So I want to flip that as not me sitting in the hot seat anymore. I'm going to flip it as a positive and be like, it's great to step out of your comfort zone because one, you never know what's going to happen, and two, you'll grow as a creator, as a player, and as a person when you're stepping out of your comfort zone. So I'm inspired. Arma, I will come and commentate MKNJ 10. Mark it down. It's in writing. It's in recording. I will be there, and I will record, and I will commentate with you. I'm only going to commentate with you. I know you got busy. If you can just do one match, I need to sit one match with you.
One round.
You know what? Well, one round,
45
one round. Hop on the mic
One-
and then dip and
one
go run the event. One round.
MK11, 2.5 minutes.
It's long enough.
My
But
bad.
yeah,
Right.
now that it's in recording, I will be there and I will commentate and officially step out of my comfort zone to prove that it is extremely beneficial and that you should do that as a creator and as a person. And I know Aquaman, I'm gonna get my.
We're
I'm
speaking
getting
from
my ass out of
experience
this
on
hot
that.
seat. Yeah.
Hey, I'm just
I'm getting
saying,
my
we're
ass out of
speaking
this
from
hot seat, though.
experience. I did it with that man right there, Miguel. And Miguel, I don't remember a lot about the conversation before we actually got on commentary, but I do remember. First it was Arma that wanted me to come on. Same exact situation you're in right now, Flashyy. Look at where I am now. What the fuck happened? Stepping out of your comfort zone, it could be a really big thing. In learning something new or potentially finding something new that you love. And I definitely recommend anyone watching this to step out of your comfort zone, try something new. And if you find that you're loving something, or here in the FGC, like Arma and myself, we fell in love with the entire community and bringing people together and trying to grow it. And if you guys are interested in that, definitely step up if you feel like that's something that you can do or want to do, because we need you. I'm going to say it. We fucking need you. We're out here struggling. And
Struggle
please,
City.
if you are interested in competitive NRS games at all, or the fighting game community at all, get involved in any way possible. Even if it's just talking on a Twitch chat, putting a YouTube comment that says, "Hey, love what you guys are doing and want to get involved." There's going to be links to how to get involved in the description of this YouTube video. And that's a perfect fucking note to end on right there, is get involved yourselves, guys.
yeah.
If you're watching this,
Hell
or
yeah.
if you're listening to this, please, we need you. I need you. Arma needs you. We, as a community, need you. And Arma, that's a perfect point to end this on. And I want to give you the floor to, once again, because you've already done a beautiful job of it, but tell us about it. Tell us about everything you got going on, where to find you, and then we'll get out of here. And thanks for coming. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, man. No, thanks for having me. I am on Twitter. That's where I promote all the MKNJ stuff. MKNJ number 10 is going to be coming up September 25th. That is in New Jersey, right on the border, on the other side of the Lincoln Tunnel from New York City. So if it's easy for you to get to New York City, it's easy for you to get to this venue. September 25th, we're going to be opening doors at 12 noon. It's going to be casuals all day. We're going to have multiple setups. We're actually going to have, because a lot of people requested it, we're actually going to have Guilty Gear Strive casuals there set up the whole time, but we're all going to have multiple setups. This isn't going to be a tournament where, you show up and there's 20 people surrounding like one setup and everyone's just waiting for their turn to play. Like, no, there's going to be a lot of setups. It's in a beautiful LAN center, Helix Esports, in North Bergen, New Jersey. So again, right on the other side of the tunnel, right on the other side of the Hudson River from New York City. So super easy to get to from New York City. There's a parking lot there if you are driving, whether it's from upstate New York or New Jersey or PA. A lot of people come from PA and a lot of the other more southern states, but it's a really, really good time. We're gonna have a stream the whole, it's an MK11 focused tournament. Like, this isn't just a 1 hour, 2 hour stream and then we're streaming other things. Like, it's the main focus is MK11. And I love it. A lot of great players are going to be there. Gurr, the Mighty Unjust, Bernanoni. Come out, get your ass kicked, or maybe you're going to beat them and solidify yourself as a great player forever. Hey, it could happen. It could happen. So if you guys want to find out more information, it could be easily could be you. More information to sign up for this tournament. Again, it's an offline tournament. Smash.gg/. It's smash.gg/MKNJ10. No, I messed it up, but that's okay. MKNJ number 10. That's coming up.
We'll put it in the description.
Yeah, it'll be there. It's going to be streamed on my Twitch channel. I don't really stream that much because Noah's not old enough to play fighting games yet, but he's getting there. I'm happy to report that before Noah turned 1 on our little MK2 cabinet, he was actually able to kill the lifeless second player before the time ran out in MK2 by throwing Melina Sai over and over again. If you guys don't know Melina Sai input in Mortal Kombat 2, it's just holding on to punch for 3 seconds and letting it go. So he just kept doing that over and over. Before he was 1 year old. I have video
before
proof
1 years old? Prodigy.
Yeah, I mean, he's just sitting there mashing the button and holding it.
Hey,
Um,
I'm still doing that in tournament.
I was gonna say it's better
So-
than what I do.
Off to a
Nah,
pretty good
Flash is
start. I'd say.
downplaying himself. I'm excited. Also, note MKNJ number 10 is also going to have Flashyy there commentating because I am definitely going to be holding him up against his word for this one. He has to be there. He's going to be there.
Either.
A lot of other great commentators are going to be there. I actually have a commentator flying in from the middle of the country, and I will be announcing who they are very, very soon. So, you guys want to follow more about MKNJ? Follow me on Twitter at Darth Arma. Mr. Aquaman, thank you so much for having me on. Flashyy, thank you as always. I look forward to seeing you again, both of you, again, whether that's online doing some kind of commentary or offline where you're going to come and just have a great time at MKNJ. That's it for me, guys.
Dude, this guy, Arma was born to promote, man. I love it. I absolutely love it. But yeah, we're gonna wrap things up here. Super awesome to have you here, man. I think we definitely got to have you on another episode. I think this is our longest episode yet, and we got way more to talk about. So we definitely want to have you back on. Everybody, be sure to follow Arma. Check out MKNJ, whether it's on the stream or if you're gonna come by, we'll both be there. I think that's gonna do it for us, man. Be sure to subscribe to the Kolosseum channel. We got videos dropping pretty much every day over here. Follow us on Twitter as well for all news and updates. Catch you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching.